My name is Brianna Sinclair, and this is my 64th week on HRT. If you like my content, please like, comment, subscribe. You can follow me over on my Discord, my Blue Sky, and I do have an X account. And if there's something specific that you would like me to cover, put that in the comments below, and I'd be more than happy to try and cover that topic for you. On my channel, I post mostly transgender content, but I would like to expand into other areas once I get like a little bit more time and a little bit more coordination as to where I would like to take this channel, but that's for a later discussion. And with that being said, let's get right into the video. Quick measurements update. My hips are 36.5, my waist is 25.5, and my bust is 37.25. So there is no change between last week and this week, which is fine. Honestly, it's fine because the one measurement that has been changing is the one I didn't really want to change. That was my waist. I'm like, thank God. And that I attribute to my waist trainer breaking. As I'm waiting for my newest one to kind of like arrive, my waist measurements are kind of like, my waist isn't being like as snatched, I guess would be like the best way to say that. I guess emotional state. So my emotional state is pretty stable. I'm just consistently trying to like do things that are best for me and best for like my business and stuff like that, and trying to take care of myself and while also trying to take care of everything else is a little challenging, but I'm working on it. It does give me a lot of anxiety sometimes, but like it's nothing I'm not working through. Let's go hair reduction next. So over the course of my entire transition, like from day one to now, well, maybe not day one, but I have noticed that like the hair on my body start to decrease, and like the amount that it's growing and like the thickness at which it grows in, as in like how dense the follicles are, which is phenomenal to me because it kind of makes me feel a lot softer than what like I usually am texture-wise. And for me, I kind of associate that more with having like a feminine feeling, but at the same time, it just makes me feel good. Even if it was like associated with like a masculine feeling, like the loss of like my hair on my body, or at least like the slowing of that growth, makes me feel wonderful. Breast growth. My breasts are still growing. I know this because they're still hurting pretty drastically around like the areola portion, and they are pretty firm underneath. Like it's like there is like some kind of like structure underneath there that I'm not 100% like how to describe it, because it's just very different. It's kind of rubbery, but at the same time it also like bends and has like, I don't know, it doesn't really have like, it's not really like a hard structure, it's more of a soft rubbery structure, I guess. Muscle mass, I have drastically noticed, like, well, not drastically, but over months, my muscle mass has decreased. My arms are getting a little thinner, or they were. I think they've stopped now because like I think I've kind of gotten to the point where the muscle I'm losing is kind of plateaued because I'm actively using that muscle almost all the time. which is good. Really good, honestly. Me being tired, I do get fatigued a little quicker, but I'm still able to keep up with everyone, even with the boys. But I think that most of me being tired is due to my like loss of testosterone. I still have to like take my spironolactone and my estradiol every day, but that drop in testosterone is a little it causes you to like not have as much energy or and stuff like that. Sex drive. My sex drive isn't like, it hasn't really changed, to be honest. Like, my demisexuality became like, it was no longer a choice. That was something that did change about it. But I can still perform when I need to, as long as like I have an emotional connection. So like as long as like the condition of my demisexuality is met, I can still perform as necessary. And but other than that, not really anything. I have noticed it does take a lot longer and a bit more intimacy, I guess, or it's a different kind of like energy for me to like finish, and that's not always, that usually takes a lot longer than what it used to. And not super thrilled about it, just because like usually whenever I'm like doing that, it's for like maintenance in case like I don't want to get SRS, and like in case I do, in which case like it's more for maintaining the length that I have, because the length that I have, if I were to get SRS, would become like the depth that I would have. So like maintaining that length is a little important. There are ways around it, but I think the less the surgeon has to do, the better in that regard, because there's a lot of very sensitive tissue there, and it's not really a reversible like procedure. Whereas like if I were to get like something implanted or something like that, that can be taken out if it starts like causing some kind of effect that's undesired or something like that. I think I covered most of the topics other than my voice. I'm still practicing my voice. I think the videos help a lot, if I'm being honest, because it gives me a little bit of like a chance to kind of sit down and focus on it. Some of my employees have kind of asked me like, how do you do the voice? And the best thing that like, it's gonna sound very crude and wild, for lack of a better term, but the best thing to do is like to come up with like your best Elmo, your best Mickey Mouse, and like kind of like a little bit of like lispish, I guess, and you basically kind of combine all three, so that way you're smoothing your words, your pitch is higher, and you can be vocally loud whenever you need to. And it's kind of funny because once you get those three voices down, you can kind of mess with people. And I think that's kind of funny. For me, it's kind of funny to just like walk into like a room that nobody knows I'm in and like do like a Mickey Mouse voice and say something like absolutely crude. Because then it's like, what in the heck? It's unexpected, and that's the kind of like jokes that I play. It's like it's only for me and only makes me laugh, but I think that's my thing. um, I'm still waiting on like my job to kind of like tell me if they even want me anymore. I finished almost everything that I needed to do to be let go, and I did get a call. I think it was the other day that they're waiting on the Supreme Court to kind of like rule on whether or not I can lose my job for this reason. And I'm hoping the answer is no, but honestly, this isn't really like the Supreme Court to rule in my favor. Yeah, my ex-wife doesn't really know what to do because she's kind of stepped back from the business, and I was like, they might ask me to like go back to work instead of like being on like this administrative leave, so that way I don't have to abide by like male standards and stuff. And because that was kind of like the ultimatum they gave me, is like you can still come to work, still wear a uniform and stuff like that. You would just have to abide by male standards again. And I said, is there a way that I can't do that if I'm going to get kicked out no matter what? Because it would seem that like I would just cut my hair, cut my nails, stop wearing makeup, only to have to regrow everything in like a month or two. I did see something the other day, and it was someone in my exact position, and she was told 200 days ago that she was being deemed no longer necessary, specifically on a gender basis, just for her gender identity. And I felt that that was very heartbreaking because, yeah, it causes me a lot of anxiety. Like, am I coming back to this job that, like, I took a lot of pride in? It wasn't the most fun job, but I took a lot of pride in what I did because it was important. To me, it was. Now, I don't really know, because it causes me to question it whenever a 10-page document can tell you that you're no longer necessary, not because you didn't do a good job, not because you were a terrible person, or because that like you're male or female, but specifically because that you're transgender. And that's my take on it for right now. It was my ex-wife's birthday the other day, and I was happy to see her happy on her birthday. We have a good like friendship that we have a good friendship, and yes, what happened with us wasn't ideal. Like, for me, it was the worst thing that's ever happened to me, easily. But I did what I had to do. I was honest, and I left because I wanted her to be happy. I say I left, but I don't feel like I really had an option, because me staying there with her only put her in danger. And I understand that doesn't make sense. I'm not gonna spill her business because I don't think that that's fair for her. But that's I was happy to see her happy on her birthday. Well, it was good to see her happy. I am moving soon, again. We're moving houses. It's like 5 minutes away from where we live now. And honestly, it's kind of nice because it's a cheaper house. It's got a pool and a hot tub, and I love the water. I'm an absolute, like, slut for the water. It's kind of funny. One of my, like, favorite things to do under the water is, like, spread my arms out, like, as far as I can and feel the water rush past. It's almost like flying, but it's a little different. It just feels good because the water is, like, incredibly soft, and I don't know. Obviously, I've got, like, a thing with, like, touch and stuff like that. I'm very much a touchy-feely person, and, like, that's ultimately transpired into, like, that's my love language because, like, I love, like, sensual touch. And yeah. Anyway, let's get this walk out of the way. My outfit's not as sexy as it has been recently, and it's not really my, like, style, so forgive me if that's, like, what you want me to wear. I kind of just dress casually and just kind of dress what I'm feeling, whether or not it's, like, a dress in heels, or if it's this, or if it's, like, jeans and a t-shirt. Pretty much it, y'all. If you like my content, please like, comment, subscribe. And if you have any ideas for any videos, or mainly for things that you would like to see, other than that one person that said, "Do you have an OnlyFans?" No, we're not doing that. Completely derailed myself. But yeah, if there's anything that you would like to see, please let me know, and I'd be more than happy to cover those topics. You can follow me over my Discord, Blue Sky, and my X account. And with that being said, this is Brianna Sinclair, signing off.